Hi, this is the student example I told you about. It's available, excuse me, it's available in your packet and no, it's not. It's available in the learning module. So I hope you have access to it, that you've opened it up so you can follow along with me. So again, we have the header as required. We have the heading as required, your name, my name, the class, title, and course number, and the date due. Your title is creative, and it has to have something to do with your thesis statement, but it's not going to be something like a theme analysis of the bean trees, because that's what your subtitle is. Your subtitle, sub meaning under. So the title that's under your main title is the name of your assignment, including inserting the theme you're planning on proving in your subtitle. It's basically a thesis statement, your subtitle, or a quasi-thesis statement. So here we have, as chapter 1, the one to get away begins, we meet our protagonist, Missy, who will soon change her name to Taylor. She lives impoverished in Kentucky with her loving mama, who does not know who her daddy is and helps out financially with the money she earns working in a hospital laboratory. So this is the little information that I would need to know if I were reading this paper and didn't know anything about the story. Her goal, which is her motivation, is to successfully complete high school without the burden of a baby. Although Missy freely admits to knowing her way around the backseat of a car, she does not want to be barefoot and pregnant. Instead, she wants to escape a world where women are treated as pieces of meat and believes leaving town translates into a successful escape. She is wrong. In every society, misogyny, quote, hatred of the female, end quote, exists, which leads to invisibility, quote, not seen, end quote, hence keeping women in their place. In The One to Get Away, Kingsolver examines the theme of invisibility as a result of misogyny. This is the thesis statement. This is why I've highlighted it. This is what your whole paper is going to be about. And so after you write your thesis statement and make sure you have identified your themes and define them, once you identify your thesis statement, think to yourself that me as the reader is going to say, prove it. Like, how are you going to prove that invisibility is a result of misogyny? And so your topic sentence, which is at the top of your intro paragraph, it's always the first sentence in your, body paragraph. While Jolene Shank's human form is treated as the piece of meat her maiden name implies, it is a young child turtle who Kingsolver uses to demonstrate the negative effects of invisibility which result from misogyny. So that is the topic sentence. And so Seamus O'Malley is telling the reader that I'm going to prove invisibility is the result of misogyny, and I'm going to prove it by demonstrating it by using turtle, just by using turtle. Not Taylor, not Maddie, not Taylor's mom, not Newt Harbine, not Jolene Shanks, just turtle. And then the next sentence always begins with for example. So your second sentence in your intro paragraph is, the second sentence in your body paragraph always begins with the words for example and then a comma. And that leads you straight into the pinpoint sentences or the mini summary. What's going on in the story right before the evidence that I've chosen that's going to prove this thing takes place? Sometimes people find the passage first when they're reading and in the writing process and are saying, I really love this passage, what's it representing? And then they go back and figure out what's going on specifically in the story. That's what I do. I find a passage that I really love and then decide what theme it reveals. That's kind of a backwards way of doing it, but I'm dyslexic. So here we are with the pinpoint sentences. When we first meet her, turtle is concealed within a colorful blanket topped by a woolen blanket, disguised. At this point, even the child's gender is in question, indicating invisibility. As to be invisible is to not exist. So I've taken the definition, the actual dictionary definition, and reinserted it in here. Turtle has been given away outside a roadhouse diner to a complete stranger, our protagonist, who is now Taylor Greer. What if Taylor were a child molester? No one seems to care because the helpless child does not matter. The child does not talk and only looks at Taylor as she drives her 1976 VW Bug toward anywhere the two of them can spend the night. Later that evening in a motel room, Taylor prepares to bathe the child who, quote, smelled like wet wool. Then Taylor tells us, when I pulled off the pants and diapers, there were bruises, bruises and more. The Indian child was a girl, poor thing. That fact had already burdened her short life with a kind of misery I could not imagine. I thought I knew about every ugly thing that one person could do to another, but I had never thought about such things being done to a baby girl. I tried not to throw up. So now I'm telling you, okay, this proves invisibility is the result of misogyny, but I haven't told you how. So this is the analysis part. This is the best part because now you get to prove yourself. When we read, quote, bruises and more, end quote, we can infer, and to infer is to logically guess, that the child has been violently sexually molested for what is worse than a bruise, an open sore, a cut perhaps. When Taylor admits that she, quote, never thought about such things being done to a baby girl, it begs the question, what such things? Are they more than bruises? Taylor has worked in a hospital. She has seen Jolene Shank's body filleted, and yet it is this image, disturbing enough for Taylor to try to, quote, not throw up, that ends the chapter, leaving the reader hanging. Perhaps King Solver wants us to imagine the bruises and more, to make her point that within any society, those with the power can do whatever they want to the powerless, the too little to see, the invisible. Ironically, The One to Get Away is a deceptive chapter title in that it is Turtle who gets away, while Taylor finds herself stuck with an unwanted child, her motivation for leaving Kentucky in the first place. So this irony part I just put there because I thought it was ironic. It's significant here because it's all about invisibility. And so Seamus O'Malley, who's really me, is taking a look here, and this is the negative result of invisibility. And I'm proving that she's invisible by mentioning that she doesn't exist because nobody even knows who she is or if she's alive or, what if she's a boy or a girl. She just doesn't matter because she's too small, because she's a girl. And that's what Taylor talks about here, a baby girl. That fact had already burdened her life. Then you've got your works cited page. Always. The definitions are here, and King Solver's novel title will be here, and please use the page number. So I'm going to get off the screen before I run out of time, and talk to you soon.